and has served on several scientific panels and workshops to develop field and laboratory protocols for testing non-target effects. Since his retirement in 2006, he continues to conduct research on transgenic BT crops, sublethal effects of pesticides on honeybee colony health, and efficiency evaluation of organic insecticides, and studies addressing information gaps in the biology and the management of emerging pest species. Without further ado, Dr. Dively.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay? Okay, great. So the one thing that was a long introduction. Took a lot of my time away. But I don't think you mentioned I'm also a graduate of this high school. And 54 years ago, I was up here giving a talk. What do you think that was? Why would I give a talk 54 years ago? Yeah, you didn't want here. I was the president of the class of 1962. I had to give a graduation talk, and man, was I nervous. I was really nervous. I don't remember any word I said. But anyhow, I'm really happy to be here. I was supposed to be here a month ago, and I got sick. I was really happy that you could, the organizers could schedule me in again. So what I'm going to talk about is an area of science that you're probably not real familiar with. Maybe you even take it for granted. And that's agricultural science. But why would that be important? Why would agricultural science be important?
Studies show that most of our food comes from agriculture.
Food production. Can I just give you one?
Make it rain.
Make it rain, okay. I'm getting a feedback here. Okay, so agricultural science involves a lot of different types. When you think of science, you think of the basic sciences: biology, chemistry, engineering, physics. And in biology, what we have? We have zoology, the study of animals. We have botany, study of plants. But there are many subdisciplines of science that is involved here in agricultural sciences. I'm just going to go through a little bit, just to give you an idea of all the different areas that you could get into if you were going to make a career out of agricultural sciences. And it's very important because of food production. You're going to always have to find jobs. People are always going to need food. And right now there's 7.5 billion people living on this earth. They estimate by 2050, there'll be 10 billion people. That's another 2.5 billion people that we have to feed. So there's a lot of challenges here through agricultural science to make sure that we can feed the growing world population. And you can see there's a lot of different areas you could get into here. Of course, animal, dairy, avian science. Avian is growing chickens, turkeys. There's a lot of economics involved in agricultural production. Agriculture is probably the most disruptive practice that mankind has ever developed. Okay, think about it. Environmental disruption. We have stripped land. We use a lot of water. We have a lot of problems with water right now in California. So there's a lot of issues. So environmental science here is a big part of agricultural science. Soil water studies, very important. Because agriculture, we do have problems with pollution. We have problems with water, not enough water right now. Food science is very important because of safety. Just in the last 10 years, there's been a lot of issues with food safety. Ag engineering, big part. developing the machinery, the devices to plant and harvest crops. And of course, we have all the science, or the plant science disciplines. Agronomy involves field crops like corn, soybeans, trying to produce these crops in the most efficient way. Agriculture, aquaculture, what's that? What's aquaculture? Back there. I can't hear you. Fish. You got them pretty good. So, a lot of fish that we get now in the stores grown on farms. Agricultural biotechnology is becoming a very important part of agricultural science. In my introduction, I do a lot of work with biotech companies because now we genetically modify crops and make them more efficient, make them produce more yield, make them resistant to pests, make them tolerant to herbicides. It's a big part. Plant pathology is, many plants have diseases like we do. So we have to control those diseases. So that involves plant pathology. Nematology. Does anybody know what nematology is? Do you ever hear about this? You ever hear of a nematode? It's what? Dealing with bugs? Right. Well, nematology is a specialized that. It's dealing with the nematodes, which are roundworms. They're in the soil, and they feed on crops. They feed on the roots, and they reduce the yield of crops. So there's actually people, nematologists, scientists that specialize in these roundworms. And then here's entomology, and I haven't read because that's what I do. All right, so entomology is really just a branch of zoology. Zoology is the study of animals. Insects are animals, okay? They breathe, they reproduce sexually. So you probably don't think of them as animals, but they really are animals. So entomology involves the scientific study of insects and their relatives. So as an entomologist, we also get involved with things like ticks, mites, spiders, centipedes, millipedes. They're all arthropods. They're in the group called arthropods. So, but primarily, entomologists work with insects. Why are they important? Diseases that they have or diseases they transmit. Okay, all right, there we go. Let's just think about, just think about how many insects, think about how many insects that we have on this earth. We have identified about 900,000 species of insects. And we think there's probably another 1 million insects out there that we haven't identified down to species level. We're just one species, Homo sapien, right? There's 900,000 species of insects that we've identified. That makes up 80% of all the species of animals and plants on this earth. 80% are insects. Now, in terms of biomass, just look at terrestrial animals, animals that live on land, okay? There are 200 million insects for every human on this planet. There is 300 pounds of insects for every pound of humans on this planet. Think about that. The next time you see an ant and you go to step on it, there's a lot of insects out there. And when you add them all up, they by far outweigh us, outnumber us, and if we weren't smart, they'd outcompete us as well, okay? So, why are insects important? This is an area that I work in, insect pests. Insects compete for our food, our fiber, like cotton, and our buildings, our termites. So they are our major competitor in this world, if you really think about it. This is the Colorado potato beetle, which is one of the insects I've worked on all my career, really. It's the most important insect pest of potatoes worldwide. It's actually native to North America. It was here in the southern part of Mexico, southwestern part of the U.S. When the settlers started coming over and moving west. When they moved west, they brought potatoes, and then this insect suddenly realized that potatoes were actually a pretty good food to feed on, because they were feeding on a wild plant that was related to potatoes, and they moved over and became a major pest. Since then, this insect is now in Europe. I always call it payback because we get a lot of pests from Europe coming to the United States. It's now moved clear across the continent to Mongolia and northern part of China. So it's the major pest of potatoes. And of course, potatoes is a major staple food in the world. Okay? We eat a lot of potatoes here. It would be considered our main staple food. Yet we're not the major producer of potatoes, actually China is. And that you would think should be right, but it's not. They produce lots of potatoes in China. So here's one that you might know because this is an invasive, exotic pest that came into our country probably the late 1900s, early 2000s. First detected in Allentown, Pennsylvania. It's the brown marmorated stink bug. How many have seen this in your house? I can see it. They love to go into homes overwinter, a real nuisance. But this insect I've been working on ever since it came. In fact, at one point, half the faculty in my department, we have 20 faculty, and about 45 grad students, half the graduate students worked on this insect for the last, because we had lots of money, grants, about $2 million worth of grants. Because this insect came in without its natural enemies. It came over probably on shipping boxes or whatever. It's a very efficient hitchhiker. Okay? So that's how it got into our country, and that's the problem we're having nowadays because we're living in a very small world. People are traveling everywhere. Look how much stuff we get from China. So it's very easy for these insects to get into our country. And when they come here, they don't have their natural enemies. So we didn't even know much about it because in China, where this insect came from, it's not a major pest. And very few entomologists were there actually working on it. So we had to start from scratch. We had to start from the bottom and do all the basic science and then try to figure out how to control it. And you see the damage it causes really bad in fruit, but it gets in everything. It's probably the most destructive pest that I've ever worked on in my career. It's in vegetables, it's in the soybeans, and really that's sweet corn, which is one of my crop specialties. So this is another pest. This is corn earworm. We also have farm worm. These are caterpillars. How many times have you opened up an ear, your husky ear down, you got a worm at the tip? Anybody see that? Probably corn earworm. So now we have the technology to control it using genetically modified corn, sweet corn, which has a gene, several genes actually from a bacteria that's been spliced into the corn. We call it BT sweet corn, which makes it almost 100% resistant to insect damage. Very efficient. It eliminates a lot of insecticide sprays, and this is something that I've been working on for a while. Okay, now some insects are parasites. they'll get into your body, particular animals, flesh worms, warbles. But we do have insects that are vectors of human disease. What do you think is the most deadly, dangerous animal in the world? How about pick somebody different here? A tick? No?
Mosquito?
Yeah! You got it. There we go. Mosquito definitely is the most deadly animal in the world. More than 50% of the world population is at risk to mosquito-borne diseases. Yellow fever, malaria, dengue fever. I had dengue fever actually when I went to the Caribbean. It's not something you want to have. The Zika virus. The Zika virus is transmitted by mosquitoes. This group of insects, indirectly, because they transmit the pathogen, kills more than 1 million people each year. It's definitely the most deadly, most dangerous animal in the world. However, I've talked about the bad insects here. Now, we have a lot, most insects are good. They do services for us. They're beneficial, they're not harmful. Okay, they're pollinators. Later I'm going to talk about honeybees. They're natural enemies, so they feed on other insects. If we didn't have natural enemies of insects that would feed on them, we would be overrun by insects. They just take over the earth. Believe me, because their reproductive rate is so high. They're so successful out there. Okay, but their mortality is probably 99% of the offspring they produce die eventually before they become adults because of natural enemies. Okay, so we have decomposers too. A lot of insects break down organic matter. If we didn't have dung beetles, you know what dung is?
Yeah.
What's dung? Well, I don't even answer that question. If we didn't have dung beetles to break down dung, which is manure, which is what the cow dumps out of the back, we'd be stepping. Okay. So there's a lot of decomposers that break things down for us. And there are insects that produce useful substances. Honey, we'll talk about that. Wax, silk. Think about silk. Right now you go in the store and you buy silk, but it's synthetic silk. A century ago, we didn't have synthetic silk. Well, how was it made? Spiders are naked now. Silkworm, okay? Yeah, the silkworm would spin a cocoon, and the threads that would be pulled out of that cocoon were silk. That's where silk came from. Of course, it's not, we do it now synthetically. So, here's something that you probably never thought of. Insect, why are they important? They're a major source of protein. 80% of the nations on this planet eat insects for food. 80%. About 2 billion people of the 7.5 billion people that live on this planet eat insects as a major source of protein. And it's going to be the food of the future. There are actually companies now, commercial companies in this country that are starting to develop. They've used mealworms for flour. You can get the flour made from mealworms. The reason why we're looking at insects is that it can convert protein more efficiently than any other animal. An insect is a mealworm. Doesn't take a lot of food to feed it. Doesn't take up a lot of space. It can convert protein 12 times more efficient than beef. 12 times more efficient. Okay? So how would you like to, you see this candy apple up here? And rather than whip that candy apple into some nuts, they're whipping it into mealworms. You can get on Amazon and you can order all kinds of food, insect food, canned food. I actually have I just have a few of here, but I have a cookbook on cicada, periodic cicada. You know what that, we call, around here we used to call locusts. They would emerge, the cicadas. They're delicious. You can roast them. You can saute them with a wok and do all kinds of stuff. Here's, some of you might have these cookbooks. But the honeybee larvae, for example, has more protein than a steak on a weight-to-weight basis. So food is definitely going to be an important issue in the future with the growing population. And definitely what you're going to see is more people are going to have to adjust to eat, maybe not so much in this country, but hey, we eat a blue crab. I'm from Maryland. Anybody blue crab? What's a blue crab do? For God's sakes, it's a scavenger. It's in the bottom of the ocean eating dead things. And then we pull it up there and steam it, and we eat everything almost. Right? It's an awesome pod. Question. Harmony? Beelzebub? Yeah, they're arthropods. Yeah. I'll take some questions later. Thank you. Okay, so entomology, though, it does involve a lot of, it's just like some guy, weird-looking nerd out there running around with a butterfly net, collecting butterflies and pinning them up and stuff like that. Entomology spans a lot of different subdivisions. And I'll just give you an example here. These are all the different areas in my department. I have 20 faculty, Department of Entomology at University of Maryland. And these are all the different specialties that we do. And for example, molecular biology. My boss, the chair of our department, is a molecular biologist. She's not really an entomologist, but she uses Drosophila, fruit flies, to study human diseases. So, because you can mutate the insect to actually have the disease, and if you use the insect, don't worry about killing a fruit fly, but you can't really work with a lot of human patients with some new drug, whatever. So she uses it as a model to study human disease, diabetes, human diabetes. So we have fruit flies that actually have diabetes. And they mutate so they have a gene that produces the symptom. So this is just an easier way to study it. We have a world specialist that works on fungi of insects. So insects will get, one of their natural enemies is a fungus, a good fungus that consumes their body. And he's using genetically modified fungus to infect mosquitoes that carry malaria to make them sterile. So that they're like a birth control. Okay? So he's a world expert on that. All right, so that's just an introduction. Just a little bit about what entomologists do. I want to talk now about honeybees. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about the basic biology of the honeybee, the fascinating insects they work with, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the problems that they have. How many have heard about problems with honeybees? Okay, so let's get in. Definitely. Okay, so here's the honeybee. Apis mellifera is a scientific name, and it's not native to our area, not native to North America. It's not a native insect. Okay, it's from Europe. So it came over in the 17th century with the settlers that came over. And before then, of course, they were managing honeybees for honey. And then this is a practice that's really bloomed here in the U.S. So it will occur out in nature. You'll find it in a hollow tree where they'll build their colony, hanging on a tree like this. These are called feral colonies. They don't have a lot of them anymore because of a mite that I'll talk about. They've got a lot of disease problems. But you could take that comb with the queen in there with all those workers and put it in a box or in a hollow, like basket. They used to use baskets back then before we had the boxes, the hives. And it would form a colony and you could manage it. So basically, what we're doing right now is this is the Langstrom hive. He was the guy that designed it about a century ago. And we use these boxes to manage honeybees. So they become domesticated. It's like animals that we domesticate. So it's like farming, bee farming, okay? Think of it as a bee farming. These are the brood chambers. I have some right here I can show you later if you want to come up. This is a brood. This is a different, just get an idea of what the cells look like, the cones and everything. But this is a brood frame. What you're seeing there is cells that have been captured because the pupa is inside. It's going to eventually emerge as an adult. There are three kinds of bees in a honeybee colony. The queen, a drone, and the workers. Okay? A honeybee colony, if it's a strong colony, may have 60,000 individuals in that colony. The vast majority of the workers, there may be a couple hundred drones, there's only one queen. Only one queen usually. The queen is fed royal jelly. It's a special substance that the workers make. They use their subpharyngeal gland. They have a gland that they take honey and pollen and some nectar, and they will process it, and then they spit it up. And it looks like vanilla milkshake to me. It's called royal jelly. And it's very, very nutritious, high in protein, it has all the vitamins and minerals. That's what you feed the queen, okay? She lives anywhere 2 to 4 years, although they're not living as long as they used to. That's one of our problems. She can lay about 2,000 eggs per day. That's a lot of production. You had a chicken that could do that. You'd be a millionaire. Really. If you had a chicken that could do 2,000 eggs a day, you'd definitely be a millionaire. So in a lifetime, maybe a quarter of a million per year, actually. So there's only one queen in the colony. She's larger. Obviously, she needs to be a little bit bigger to make that many eggs. So her major job is to lay eggs. And she can lay fertilized eggs, which are workers, or she can switch and lay an unfertilized egg. But she has control of that. She stores all her sperm. She only makes one time. So she stores all her sperm in a special vesicle, and she can switch back and forth. Because the fertilized eggs are going to be workers, and the unfertilized eggs will be drones, which are the males. She can't feed herself. She's groomed and fed by the workers. And she has total control over this colony because she emits pheromones, which are chemicals in the air that keep everybody organized and unified. Okay? She has total control over that colony. And it also gives that colony kind of an individual identity, because if you work with bees, you'll realize real quick that some colonies are more aggressive. You have to be very careful. Some are really docile and mild. You don't even have to wear anything, because they have their own personality. To me, they're like cows. I grew up in a dairy farm 5 miles from here. The cows also had their own personalities. So she produces this pheromone. It's like a social glue that keeps everybody organized. I can tell when I open up a box that the queen might be missing or weak, because they're real jittery, nervous, they don't know what's going on, they're disorganized. Because it's those pheromones that keep them on task. So the quality, the size, the temperament of that colony really depends on the queen's genetic makeup, and also on the drones that mated with her when she was a virgin queen. So there's a lot of variation to colony. It depends on the genetics. So here's the queen. She's bigger, and she'll just move around. They'll take care of her. They'll move around. They'll feed her as she's working. She'll come to an empty cell, drop her abdomen down, drop a single egg in there. So we also have queen cells, because there's always backup. The colony will always make cells we call supersedure cells right here. These are larger cells. They're empty, but if that queen gets hurt, or gets weak and stops laying eggs, they can take a larvae within a day or two old, larvae that's hatched from an egg, larvae from an immature bee, and move it into that queen cell, and they'll start feeding it raw jelly. And believe it or not, it will become a queen if they keep feeding it raw jelly. They also have swarm cells down here at the bottom of the frame. They always have a swarm cell. If you're a beekeeper, you want to get rid of those because the swarm cell is a backup. Just in case the colony gets too big and runs out of space. Now, a good beekeeper would just keep adding boxes to make more space, and you can have boxes stacked up that high in the colony. But if you're not watching and they get too big and feel like they're running out of space, a queen will emerge from that swarm cell, and they'll decide, that queen will take half the workers and they'll swarm. How many people have ever seen a bee swarm? There's a big ball of bees, and that's what they're doing. They left another colony, maybe it was a wild colony or a managed colony, and they're going to try to find a place to have another nest, to have another colony. So I got swarm cells. So you try to remove those if you're a beekeeper. They also try to keep more space in there. But supersedure cells are kind of backup. Now, when a queen she's out of that supersedure cell, as long as that queen is in charge, is still healthy, she'll kill that queen. She still has to control, be the number one queen. So colonies are very female dominated. The guys are second-class citizens in a colony. Okay. All right, so here's how you make a queen. You simply feed it raw jelly. Now, you'll also feed the workers, just a regular worker or drone larvae, a much diluted type of, it's called brood food, which is a milky type, it's kind of milky too, but it doesn't have all the nutrition in there. And even though it's a fertilized egg, it could become a queen, the fact that they're not feeding it this highly nutritious raw jelly, it becomes a worker rather than a queen. Now that to me is amazing how they can figure that out. But, so anyhow, here's the birthing bird. Here's where they do all their reproduction. See an egg right there? There's an egg right there. That egg hatches. And in about a week or so, the larvae then will become, larvae is right there. It's actually swimming in the brood food. The brood food is like a liquid. It's just kind of sitting there, lapping it out, eating, being fed by the workers, and then she becomes fully grown, and you'll get them fully grown eggs here, larvae gets bigger, and then a pupae. Now these they exhibit complete metamorphosis. So they go from an egg to an immature, like a larva, to a pupae, which you probably from moths and caterpillars have a cocoon, but they go through a pupal stage for about almost 2 weeks, and then they emerge as a new worker. Okay, so you've got a new worker here emerging. So here's the pupae. We've cut the side away here to show you the pupae in here. You see it's going to become an adult bee. So these, like pretty much all insects, have sexual reproduction. So they have males and females, like all animals. I'm not going to be able to find the details of all that, but and here's where the drone comes in. He's the male. All right, so the drone is a little bit bigger than a worker, and they're larger, they're more barrel-shaped, and they hatch from unfertilized eggs. There's always about 100, 200 in every colony. They just keep them just in case they need them to mate with the new queen. That's all they do. Their sole purpose is really to mate with a new queen if they need a new queen. Okay? If the queen's already been mated and she's still inside, they just hang out. They basically just hang out. Because they don't feed themselves. They can't forage. They don't do any work. They don't help build the comb. They don't defend the damn hive. They have no stinger. And they're just fed by the workers. So they're bums. They're just bums. Really. In fact, when it gets cold in the fall, and food may get a little scarce because they have to go to the winter in the colony, they take them out. They take all the drones out. Really bad. It's not a very good life for a male insect in a bee colony. So anyhow, here's a drone, and their sole purpose is to mate with a virgin. Usually when a queen emerges, about 6 days later, she'll fly out of the colony, and they go in their nuptial flight. And they'll go up in the air, and then you'll have drones that will follow that. And there'll be some many drones in that area will find her and mate with her. She'll mate with multiple drones, and that's actually an advantage, because it eliminates inbreeding. Because some of the drones she's mating with may be her own sons. Who knows? So by mating a lot of different drones, she gets a cross-section of the genetic makeup of a lot of insects, a lot of bees at that time. So, and then once they mate, they'll die. The really hard worker is the worker. These are all female bees. They're smaller. They'll go through about a 21-day from eggs to adults. There's about 60,000 in a good-sized colony. And they perform very specific jobs. They do all the work, but their jobs will change with age. Okay, as they get older, they go through different training periods. Okay, so when they start out as, when they emerge here, their first 10 days they eat a lot of protein. They need pollen. They eat a lot of pollen because pollen has protein. And that matures and develops their glands, because they have special glands for making wax. They have special glands for making brood food in their body, and they have to be developed. And during that time, they're involved, they're janitors. They clean out dirty comb. So, when a bee emerges from a cell, it's dirty. It's like going in and cleaning out your room, right? And that's what they do. As they get older, then they'll start feeding the larvae. They're called nurse bees, and they'll make the brood food and they'll feed larvae. And they'll also, eventually, then they become a little older, they start building honeycomb, because they have wax glands. They have glands that can make the wax, okay? And it's very expensive to a colony because it takes 8 pounds of honey to make 1 pound of wax. So they have to consume that much honey to make that wax. But that wax is used for drawing out the cells. And then later, later they become guard bees. You'll find them at the entrance. And they'll check every bee that comes into that colony. If it doesn't smell like a bee that belongs to that colony, they boot them out. Now, they will accept another bee from another colony if it's carrying around food. But if it's not carrying food, it's just kind of drifted over to another colony. I've watched them. They'll wrestle them down and they'll kick them over the side and boot them out. But if it has food, they'll go on to it. And then later they also remove the dead bees. Keep in mind, we live about maybe 6 months of workers, so there's always deaths going on. They've got to remove those dead bees and fly them away. They fly them pretty far away from the colony. And then eventually, the last couple of weeks of their life, they become foragers. And these are the bees that go out and are searching for pollen. They're collecting pollen. And what else do they collect? Nectar. Oops. I can give you a real dog. Just with me after the talk. Yeah, they collect nectar. And so they're at most risk. When those foragers go out, they're at most risk. So we need nectar, the colony needs nectar, it needs pollen, it needs water, it needs propolis. Propolis is a pitch that they get from trees. It's like the ooze that comes out of the pine trees, and they use that as glue. They glue their boxes together. And when I open up the box, I have to have a pry bar to open them up, because they are actually glued. Everything's glued together. I'm going to go through this pretty quick here. But now bees, when they go out and they find a really good source of pollen and nectar, they will come back. It's like we have scout bees. We have bees that call scout bees. We just go out and check. They find a source, they'll come back and they'll go through what we call a waggle dance. And they'll make these figure 8s The length of this and the angle of this reflects the angle of the direction to the sun, and they can communicate with these other foragers and tell them exactly where that source is, how far out it is, and the smell that they have coming off of them when they come back tells the foragers how rich, how good that nectar source is. So this is it's amazing behavior that they do to actually communicate. Here how they store honey. I got a honey. I have a super here that's packed full of honey, and for lunch here, maybe we'll be able to cut some of it out and you can try it. And you can just take a big bite of it. You'll have the wax and just kind of suck all the honey out, spit the wax out. So one of the really interesting things about honeybees is they're one of very few insects that can overwinter. They can survive the winter as a living colony. And what they do is they form a cluster. So the temperature drops in the fall, in the winter, they form a really tight cluster around the queen. And that cluster, you see it right here, it's like, think of a basketball, okay? And on the outer area of that cluster, the outer layers is very tight. And then inside, it's opened up a little bit so they can move around and feed. Because they store the honey, that's what gives them the food during the winter, and the honey is always close to the cluster. And the workers will go out, get honey, bring it into the center, feed the queen, feed everybody else. And the bees take turns. It's like penguins. Penguins will do the same thing in Antarctica, where they'll kind of group together, and then the ones on the outside are going to get cold, right? But they'll take turns with the ones on the inside. The bees will do the same thing. And it could be 20 degrees out. But in the middle of this cluster, it's 85 degrees. Now, how do they do that? Are bees warm-blooded animals like us? Or cold-blooded animals? They can maintain 85 degrees, I don't care how cold it's outside, because they vibrate their wings. They vibrate their wing muscles. They create a lot of metabolic heat. So they do that. If it gets too hot, like it warms up in one day in February, they can expand that cluster so they allow more air there. So they can regulate that temperature right down there. Now during the summer, they've got to get it up to about 93. So the colony will be about 93 all the time, and they need that to make brood, reproduce. And it can be 105 outside, and it can get very hot for us. They've been keeping it at 93 because they bring a lot of water in, and they evaporate that water and flap their wings. And they circulate the water in airflow. It's like air conditioning. Think of it as air conditioning. Okay? It's amazing. So what's important about honeybees? You got the best one here. Pollen, that's pollinators. So. Anything else? A honeybee. Think of it, honeybee. Honey! Okay, so they make honey, okay? But that's really not the most important thing that they do, contribution they make for us. And there's different kinds of products they make from honey. People buy royal jelly because there's some important health benefits of royal jelly. People buy pollen that have allergies. They have pollen allergies, so they eat pollen to try to boost their immune system. I'm not sure how much science is behind it, but that's what they tell me. So, but the main reason why we grow these managed honeybees is because of pollination. 85% of all flowering plants on this earth, on this planet, need insects for pollination. They would not be able to reproduce without insects. And the bees, the honeybees, are a big part of that. And a lot of these crops we wouldn't be able to grow without honeybees. So honeybees are the most important pollinators in North America. The value of honeybees commercially anywhere from $15 to $20 billion annually. So 33% of our human diet comes from insect-pollinated plants, and the honeybee is responsible for 80% of it. So about every third bite of food that we eat is either directly or indirectly to honeybees. We do honeybees and other bees. There's about 4,000 species of bees, by the way, in North America. So here's like a nice healthy breakfast here. You got nuts, you got fruit, you got jam winter toast, you got coffee with cream, you got a juice like cranberries or something like that. But if there was no honeybees, it would look like that. Now we would starve. We still got our staple foods like potato, corn, soybeans. They're all self-pollinated. But it would be, the diet would be pretty dull, I think, without all these fruits and nuts and vegetables. So nuts, all your nut crops, your berries, your small berries, strawberries, a lot of your large fruit, many vegetables like your watermelons. Everybody likes watermelon. All those crops, you need these to get their maximum yield. Okay. So bees are in trouble. I think you probably have heard about this. For the last 10 years, bees have been declining. Not just, and there's been many reports of this. In 2007, this is a National Academy of Science. The National Academy of Science came out with this very important report saying that we need to start thinking about saving our bees, because we were losing bumblebee species and the honeybee populations were declining. And it's not just honeybees, it's bumblebees, all our bees are having problems. One of the problems is we're losing beekeepers. We don't have near the number of colonies. Back in the 40s, we had about 5.5 million colonies. We're down to about a little more than 2.5 million colonies right now. And we've had two events. One is the varroa mite, which is a parasitic mite of bees that came into our country in 1987, which is really the #1 problem we have now. And then we had this colony collapse disorder, which was unusual back in 2006. But right now, our beekeepers are still being able to maintain that 2.5 million because they're taking very strong hives and splitting it and making 2 hives. That's what they're doing, but it takes a lot of work. So there's a lot more overhead involved, and